Hi, everyone, and thanks for joining me today. Okay. And over here, the Four of Swords is all about a time out, a break, a pause, meditation, healing. So finding ways to have downtime, to have calmness, to really go within and check in with yourself and cleanse, replenish, renew, all sorts of those types of words and energies will be important for you. And you don't need to explain yourself to anyone. So if you decide to quit the PTA and to stop bringing being the one that always gets the birthday card for the people at the office. I never do. I'm like the worst, and I don't cook either, so I never bring any. Well, I bring like drinks, but I never cook for potlucks. So people probably feel this way about me, but I can't cook. They don't want me cooking, trust me. But you don't always have to be the parent that brings in everything. You don't always have to be the one who sets up the carpool. You don't have to be the one that always gets your friends together. You don't have to host it at your house. You see where I'm going. And when you stop, people may be like, well, she always does that. They really liked you in that role because it was really easy for them. And you don't have to give any other answer other than no. Not this time. You don't need to get defensive or feel like you have to defend yourself for creating boundaries and not taking on more responsibility than is necessary or than anyone else takes on. So feel confident in your priorities and what you're going to spend your time on. And you work plenty hard, okay? So anyone who tries to say you're not a hardworking person is just jealous and full of shit. So don't even give them any time. So at the bottom of the deck for this month, we have the Queen of Cups. And she's a lovely queen. She's very, very caring and considerate and comforting. With a card like this being at the bottom of the deck, I would say it just calls for you to take care of yourself, to take care of your emotional needs, and really actively carve out time for yourself and protect yourself to keep things as calm and stress-free as possible. Now, I can already see with a couple of the cards on the table, what you're going to need to accomplish that is you are going to have to let go of some burdens. There are some things weighing you down. There are some monkeys on your back. Some of your inner demons may be creeping up this month for whatever reason, seemingly just for the point of driving you crazy, it seems like. Just when you think you have a handle on things, for whatever reason, it creeps up. It seems the way it happens to me. But getting a higher perspective, getting a broader perspective about what you really want to bring into your life and setting some things in motion. But when you look at things from getting a higher view, from a long-term view, a longer range view, it's a little bit easier to see what things may seem incredibly important in the present that actually really in the grand scheme of things, the long term, really aren't that important. And those are the things you can set down so you can lighten your load. So lightening your load is going to be really important for you to take care of yourself. Being kind to yourself, trying to quiet those inner demons, focusing on your health this month and making sure, really focusing on your mental health and your level of stress, I think is going to be the most important. I don't see this so much as like addictions or any of those things as this card can be. And also really making sure that you're not being codependent and taking on other people's issues. Like we all have enough to work on ourselves. You're not so amazing that you can just take on everyone's, but like everyone has their own burdens to deal with. There's no need for you to take on anyone else's burdens. That's you wouldn't expect other people to take on yours, so don't take on theirs. You are robbing them of the opportunity to learn a valuable lesson in life, right? The Three of Pentacles. This is again the person at the office that's just always doing. They don't preach. They're not always saying how much they're doing. They're just the one actually doing the work. So you are a hard worker. People are noticing. People are watching. And don't worry about delegating some work. It's a sign of actually a good manager, or it's a sign of intelligence to know when is too much and to delegate with the end goal, not to get credit, but to get the best product, the best result in whatever endeavor you're in. And people will notice that. And they'll be like, hey, she's a good manager. She's keeping all these things going, whether it's just your family, at work, wherever. Especially when they then have to pick up some of your slack and realize how much you're doing. They'll be like, oh, wow, she really was doing a lot. So doing a little housekeeping, clearing out, cutting away things that are unnecessary, that aren't truly beneficial or necessary in the long run for you and your goals in life, and communicating that without apology. And what's so beautiful about that is you're going to get all this energy. You're going to feel like you feel reinvigorated at the end of the month, because you will have very thoughtfully pruned things out of your life, and it's going to make room for all this new energy and time and things that you love to do, that fill you with joy, that rejuvenate you, that feed your soul, that's really going to make you feel a lot better at the end of the month. All right, so I'm going to draw one of these bad boys. Notice the signs. Yes, the signs you've been receiving are heaven sent. We drop feathers, coins, and other signs upon your path to remind you that you are loved and never alone. Nice. So I'll just leave that at that. That's just a nice little message. I don't feel the need to try to relate that back to the other reading. Thanks for joining me. I hope you have a really lovely month, and I'll see you at the next video. Take care.